Hello everyone, welcome to Monday Morning Must Knows. My name is Merlin Rothfeld, and here are several things to pay attention to for the upcoming trading week. Now, of course, all of you are probably still excited and reeling from last week's nice pop in the S&P and the NASDAQ. Thank you, Mr. Apple. You did a wonderful job by making an announcement, a partnership with OpenAI, and all of a sudden now we all get to have ChatGPT and other AI functions on our cell phones coming out later this year with version 18 of your operating system. What could possibly go wrong? Well, certainly the markets rejoiced because now all these new people buying new phones. We saw a big pop up in Apple and a lot of tech last week. Now this week, will we get that same sort of pop? I don't know. I'm not sure if we're going to get that same sort of excitement. We do have some announcements. I'm going to start things off as usual with your earnings calendar. Not a lot to speak of unless you're into home builders. 311 companies to report this week. On Monday, we have Lennar. On Tuesday, we have KB Homes. And on Wednesday, we've got SunPower. Now, why did I put SunPower Energy on here? Well, I put it on here because it's the most heavily shorted stock on our financial markets right now. And of course, anytime companies are that heavily short, I think it's 93 or 97% short interest right now, that means it doesn't take a big move up to cause a short squeeze and this thing to really rock. And of course, what's been going on with Roaring Kitty and with GameStop, a lot of people focusing on these, let's just say, meme stocks, if you will, for that potential short squeeze. And that may be a potential thing here with SunPower. Now, the real stuff happens on Thursday. You have Accenture, you've got Kroger, Darden's Restaurants, Jabil, and Winnebago. And rounding it out, we do have two announcements on Friday, FactSet Research and CarMax. So exciting. I know, you're all excited about CarMax. Okay, the earnings side's out of the way. Of course, maybe a couple names there of significance, but really not groundbreaking, earth-shattering type of earnings announcements that we've experienced over the past couple weeks. And of course, we have our FOMC statement out of the way and our inflation data out of the way. So, should be a calm week, right? Ha ha! Wait, I have some stuff that may cause some jitters for our markets. So let's start things off on Tuesday on the U.S. side with retail sales numbers at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. On Tuesday, we have the retail sales numbers coming out. And you can see by this little red box I'm going to throw on your screen here, it didn't look so good last reading. Came out at 0, meaning we're not growing. And the retail sales numbers are staying right where they're at. Not a good sign for an economy that is growing, particularly at the clip that Jerome Powell keeps talking about at his press conferences. Now, what are we expecting? Well, you see the previous reading was 0.0, being unchanged. We are expected to jump to 0.3%, so a little bit of a move up there for retail sales, but that is nowhere near the numbers we saw earlier this year as well as mid last year in 2023. So even coming out at 0.3, not the best for retail sales, but hey, at least it's positive. All right, now we move over to some bigger stuff. Rate statements. We'll start things off with the Swiss National Bank, which is expected to cut rates Thursday morning at 3:30 a.m. Eastern Time. And I'll start off with the wee hours of the morning. They're expected to drop from 1.5% to 1.38% on their rates. And then right next door to them, just across the pond, the Bank of England is expected to keep their rates right where it's at 5.25%. That also happens Thursday at 7 a.m. Eastern Time. So we have two pretty big central bank announcements happening before the markets open on Thursday morning. But wait, we're not done. There's one more. Services and manufacturing numbers are also being released for most of the major parts of the world. On Friday morning, we will see France at 3:15 a.m. Eastern Time report theirs. Shortly after that, you have Germany at 3:30. Right after that, the EU at 4 a.m., followed up by England at 4:30. And then, drum roll please, at 9:45 a.m. Eastern Time, the United States comes out with their numbers. Now, of course, this isn't a major market mover, but it is another data point that markets, economists, and central bankers will look at to see where are our rates, where should they be. The talk track last week shifted pretty quickly with some of those nice positive numbers of, are we going to see more rate cuts this year? 1, 2, if we see some really good numbers, we might actually see more than that. I still am in the camp of 1 rate cut by the end of the year. I think the prudent thing to do is to keep those rates right where they're at until the markets show a need for a dramatic cut or potentially even a raise. So we've got some minor announcements, but a lot of them coming out this week. I think the real focus point is going to be on your retail sales on Tuesday, those central bank announcements by the Bank of England and the Swiss National Bank on Thursday, and of course, what you see here are services and manufacturing numbers for Friday's trading session. That, my friends, is your Monday Morning Must Knows. We'll see you next week.